Camera off. I want to be clean for this video. Well, I'm going to clean for any video. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is IOEG Technology Screens, which we're going to be working on a new company's name. I've been developing black technology for a very, very long time. As a matter of fact, I consider myself to be the creator of black technology, which I'm going to be working on something to get that recognition. Anyway, I've seen very little black screen paints out there. We make black screen paint in multiple different versions of black screen paint. We made it invisible. We made it a color blend kind of version of it. We made like so many different versions of it. And we do a ton of testing. Testing is extremely important when it comes to black screens. So this is a screen that's going to be challenged the most. This is a screen that pretty much like gray screens, they can fake it. So one of the things that a black screen has to be able to do is produce white levels. White levels are extremely important. Now these demonstrations are being done on something we call standalones. A standalone means that the screen is basically has no comparison screen next to it. There's no black versus black test, which is very important. It shows that your screen paint is not matching any form of house paint, any forms of films, fabric, stuff like that. Gray screens are also supposed to have these tests also too, but they don't do them. Now, one of the things I see when people make these black fake screens is they put in something called silver mica. Now, the reason why they put silver mica into this because they believe that the silver mica is going to bring a higher white levels. Some of them I've seen put water in there. I don't know what that's supposed to be for. Maybe it's to dissolve the mica better. I don't know. They put white paint in it. They put silver in it. And, you know, this is the stuff that they do. Some of them are not even black screens. They're really like dark gray screens to try to come off as a black screen to be to produce a higher white level. They do that. Now, as I said before, there's different shades of black. You don't get black all in one color. You know, you go check. There's multiple shades of black. You go to Home Depot or Lowe's and say, hey, I would like some black paint. They're going to say which one, different shades. But at the end of the day, they all read contrast. One of the problems you're going to have is which one reads the highest white level. Now, that's what our technology does. Our technology reads an extremely high white level. And that allows the technology to be different from any other black surface. The white level is extremely important because it plays a role whether or not your screen becomes watchable or unwatchable. Now, and their mixture, like I said, they believe that this silver mica here is going to be able to give them this high bright level. Now what we have here is we have one of the mixtures that they make. This is made with Bear or Dynasty black paint, which we use because it's very high grade black paint. We use silver mica. We have here. We use white paint and then some PPJ with some silver. Now if you're looking at this screen, you're thinking at the end of the day, well, Ken, that is producing white. It actually isn't producing white. From being in the field for a very long time, one of the things I notice when I see screens, I see this discoloration white that pops up on your screen. The discoloration white that pops up on your screen tells us that your screen is not reading white properly. I see this in a lot of black paints. You literally bring up this shade of a yellowish white to your screen. Now, in your eyes, because you're not trained to deal with black technology, you don't have the years that we have, you can't see it, but we pick it up. We can see it. Now this yellowish discoloration, what it does is it causes the screen to basically produce extremely poor white levels. Those white levels next to our technology, big difference. We actually produce a higher. So when I take this surface and I put it against the screen over here, that surface is going to go dark because it's not really producing a actual natural white level. So let's go pop over here. We got a full charge on the phone this time. This video is not going to be marked private. Mr. Taco, I would appreciate you don't get in my way in this video. Because I have a cat in here. My motion support cat has a habit of camera bombing. He likes to camera bomb. All right, so let's go walk over here to my projector over here. Thank goodness we got a great charge today. Everything's charged and ready to go. You go sit down on your spot and behave. Now that's our technology. That's our screen right there. Those are our white levels you can see on our screen. I'm going to go back where the surface is right here. Right? Hop and skip. This is the surface right here. All right. Now, bring you up. I'm going to take the surface. I'm going to lay it against mine. Now you see that? You see how dark and dirty the image got? There's not an ounce of white in it, right? This is what happens when you see fake black screens. These are screens at the end of the day that the person who developed it doesn't know what they're doing. There's no testing underneath of it. This is why you see people pull down listings and give money back to our company when they claim to have these black screens. Why? Our testing is brutal. They would never pass any of the testing. They couldn't even pass a basic white level test. They wouldn't be able to get through it. So it's a fake screen. That's how we can tell from the door that your black screen is fake. There's a tone level that pops up in the white levels. And that tone level on your end, you think it's white, but on our end, what we see is yellow. It's got a yellowish kind of look to it. And that means your screen's not generating white level. You also get something called the narrow viewing cone effect, but this is the narrow viewing effect of contrast, where the outside edges will be dark, but the inside will be brighter. The inside will be brighter, the center will be brighter than the outside of the screen. That tells us at the end of the day that your screen is basically generating a, it picks up a color, not a good one, in the center, but the outside is dark, which means it can't do corner to corner. It doesn't work well with the projector. It's having an issue with the projector. All right, let's do another one. All right, so we'll get you up close. You can see right there, as it says, not matching our product. And I can't express this enough. I really can't. We do have people that we are taking to court. We have filed lawsuits against. These are very heavy lawsuits. They're very, very, very heavy lawsuits because these individuals went in and make accusations that our products were scams. They were rip-offs, not to purchase paint from us. These people are facing lengthy jail time and lawsuits over the $900,000 mark. They're going to be in a lot of trouble. We get to court. They're going to have to prove that whatever that stuff is supposed to be ours. Let's go to Skyworth food demonstration. Good thing we have mics on all of these. I'll come out here. Let me see. I'm hitting microphone here. Skyworth food demonstration. Why is it here? It doesn't here there. All right, there we go. Now, we're going to take the long way on this. No, we'll just take this way. We're going to start from the first part of the kitchen. I'll start it over here, so we'll have it set up over here too. We're going to pause it there. Blow that up. Now, mind you, if you're caught with one of these lawsuits by our company for making these false accusations, this is what's going to play out in court. Because, again, it's not going to go well. We have to bring that up. Like I said, next week we are following against one individual for touching the Apex Gamer, for making false videos against the Apex Gamer. He's being sued in court, and followed by criminal charges will be coming next after that. All right, as you can see right here, you think you're reading white. That looks white, right? That's not white. That color is so thrown off, it's not even funny how badly that is. Now again, the reason why you don't see a lot of black paints out there, because we test them. We test black paints against our products. We test them against testing they should be doing. There's a lot of tests missing, a ton of them. Something called a black versus black test. There is roughly about 100 of those tests missing off of some of these black screens, and they're required to have these tests. Like smarter screens makes a black screen. They're missing a ton of testing. I've literally had conversations with them in chats asking about certain key features, and we didn't get really anything back. But their screens have to go under these testings with another difference between your product. You want to make sure you're not being shipped up black paint. Nobody wants to go through that freaking nonsense. All right, so we have the screen here. Woman there, right? You think you're seeing black? Let's go take a walk over to our screen. Thank goodness Taco's being good. He's not tripping over him. Staying put. He just likes to be on camera all the time, that's all. He's a camera junkie. He loves to be on camera. I usually let him get on camera when we do the floors, because he likes that. He loves to be on the floors. All right, let's take our surface right here. See, it's black, right? And we're going to take it. We're going to put it right here in the center right there. I want to show you how dirty that comes up. Look at that. Look how dirty that comes up next to our technology. So, customer, warning. Do not buy fake black screens because you're ripping yourself off. You're not getting my product at the end of the day. There's nowhere in the world you're getting my stuff. These people who come on YouTube, especially the ones with channels that look like ours, and again, message to you, we will see you in court. We're doing a trace on IP addresses. We have brought in somebody who has the authority to trace an IP. You will see you in court. But as for to the consumer, do not buy fake black screens. Make sure that they are tested. You could definitely be getting ripped off from the door. And as you can see, there's a massive difference. Let's let this video play. Let this play. I'm about to say, what am I tripping over that belongs to you? Now, another thing is too that we have people going to court next week. Right next week, we're actually filing a lawsuit next week on someone. Because that individual went out and claimed they had an Apex. And they clearly used black paint, claimed it to be our paint, reacting that way. Don't do those either. Those will get you sued. There's somebody already next week is going to be going through that because we had a file against them. Getting back to these fake black screens. Now, like I said, they put in silver, they put in mica, they put in white paint, and they think on a standalone, because you don't have my product there, if you didn't purchase my stuff, you think on a standalone that your product works. I'm here to tell you it doesn't work. That's what your product looks like next to mine. My screen generates one of the highest white levels on the market. All our technology has that ability. All our black screens are tested. We got to go to court. All our stuff is tested. All our screens have done tons and tons of white level tests, tests of limit projectors, distance throw. There's a ton of it you have to do. There's one of the tests that's required where you have to do it at 1,000 lumens at 16 feet back, fully lit environment. And the test requires a black surface and it requires a white surface. You must show contrast, show color levels higher than the black screen. Of course, it's not supposed to match yours. And the white surface, you must show a massive difference. You're missing a ton of testing. Now, in court, if they were to take my credibility and expertise in this business versus yours, you would lose hands down. Because you're news, you don't know what you're doing. You're just ripping customers off, trying to make them think they're getting a black screen paint, and they're not getting that. And then by saying my company's name and making false claims that we're rip-offs, you're looking at $1 million lawsuit and 20 years in prison. Because we're definitely taking it to all federal. But to the consumer, yeah, that's a fake black screen. Look how badly it comes up next to ours. Doesn't even read. Let's go grab, let me see. Doesn't pick up on the commercials, picks up on nothing. Can't read white light. As I said before, I said this many times in demonstrations. This is a perfect example. This is what you call oversaturation of contrast levels. This is where a screen picks up, doesn't have a balance. The black screen, right here, you're seeing the fake one, doesn't have proper balance. It can read a contrast level, it can't read the white level. So it can't transition. It can show the star field, but it can't transition. Now on black screens, white levels are the most important thing in a black screen. Without those white levels, the black screen has what we call oversaturation of contrast levels, which means the screen has a very difficult time generating white light and comes up dirty. This is what we literally see in your demonstrations when you show off your product. It comes up dirty. Now, keep in mind, if you are making one of these products and you are selling it, our company will challenge you in court. My PC fan, it makes that much noise. That's really my fan behind me, my PC. And again, I am running like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 RPMs in there. No, 5,000 RPMs per fan. Let's see where that's coming from. So you see how dark those levels pop up? Let's come over here. Let's go over to, let's hit here. Now, some of these demonstrations, you can see it right from the door. You see the narrow view, dark contrast, narrow view and cone effect. Corners are super dark. The middle is brighter. That means the screen's not reading white levels at all, period. I don't see any form of white level test on these products, anything whatsoever, period. So your screens are fake screens. We make these type of paints to put against our products for testing. That's how we can know. We can know from the door that your screen is not reading white levels correctly. Like I said, on a standalone, it looks like it works perfectly fine. Next to ours, it doesn't work at all, period. No comparison. And again, I can't express this enough. Those of you who have YouTube channels, especially channels claiming to be us, using our company's name, making false statements that the very product that you have is our product, making statements that we're scammers and rip-off artists, knuckle up, get ready. You're going to be in a courtroom soon. And in that courtroom, like I said, for making those types of false statements against our products will lead to 20-year prison sentence, 10 to 20, and $1 million lawsuits. Now, see that? Look at that. Every level you see with this screen is fake. I think what it is that they thought they could mix some stuff together. One of the new things I've seen is that silver mica. They show it off all the time. And they thought that they could do what we do. Man, it's going to be a hurt piece when we walk into a courtroom and your stuff does this. You don't have the same thing we have at the end of the day. Our product is completely different from yours. This is why we notice your screens don't go in certain settings and certain environments. You don't even, those things wouldn't even operate properly outside. They don't even absorb light. They're black, but they still can't absorb light because they can't read the white level high enough. You end up in the scenario of usually most black screens we see. They require a very high-end projector in order to produce their white levels because their white levels are dramatically poor. Now, I will be posting this demonstration to our new site. We're working on a site on the website. It is the legendary technology we're working on. Also, too, I'm going to put this on our tests for black versus black. We have one of the largest black versus black tests. It is a site that a page we dedicate to doing testing versus black paint fabrics and films. All our screen paints are tested, retested over and over again. You'll find them on the black versus black list. Everything we have is tested. We've been to other sites. They don't have these test demonstrations. They don't test their products. This is why coming in September, not only are we taking people back and forth to court for other dumb nonsense, but we're also going to be challenging companies. Do you actually read an actual black level? If you have a black screen, is your screen properly tested before you sold the screen? This is the reason why a certain person with a Series C product canceled out 13.8 million people out of the state of Pennsylvania and also returned all of the money back to our accounts because he knew darn well if we had tested that Series C's, it would have failed miserably. Yeah, this is what would have happened to it. Because even I could see the screen was having problems. But one of the problems we saw with the Series C is that it couldn't turn black. I don't know what was in a mixture, what we put in there, but as we watched the container, because we will stare at your containers to see what's going on. And the container was black, but he kept staring at it and staring at it. That means whatever pigment or black stuff he had in there, it wasn't taken well to the mixture, and it was separating like oil and water. That's why I kept telling you to stir between each application. Yeah, that tells you that's a huge red flag. If anything, this thing would have turned it yellow, but this one came up gray. But that's how poor the levels are on fake screens. Your white levels are way too low. That's why you hear me on camera and I'm saying white levels are too low. White levels are too low. We know what white levels look like. You don't have the experience. We go to court, the first thing they're going to ask you, what is your experience in black technology? How far do you extend back? You're not even considered to be an expert in the field. You don't even know how to make it right. Oh, ours are transparent, by the way. We have transparent projection screens. And a transparent projection screen that's black is supposed to pick up a, what do you call it, more difficult image because there's light transferring back and forth through it. So that screen is picking up more light than that surface right there, and it still generates a higher white level. Now look at that. Look how much you're losing. Let's go over to, I want to pick up and go over to, let me see. Let's do this one right here. Now, I'm going to be posting this to our website, directly to our website, all Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Because we're going to start doing demonstrations this week strictly on the fake black screen. Screen paints that are being pushed out too fast, that are claiming to be black screens at the end of the day. Mind you, if you're caught with one of these fake screens, if you are pushing these things out to rip off the consumer, to steal from them, to say that you're us at the end of the day, we will see you in court. Do you understand this? I've had this conversation already. I'll post some information about IP address tracking. That'll show you at the end of the day, if you pop in on a YouTube or any social media account with an IP address, that your account can be tracked. It can be tracked right back to your local internet provider, which obtains all your information. We can get a cyber investigator subpoena those particular records to get access to your personal information to prepare you for court. Because you're committing fraud. You're going on social media, you're making false statements about black technology, something you know nothing about, and this is what your product really does. What I just showed you in the mixture, that a majority of 80% of the products made online are made exactly that way. The first thing a person who doesn't know much about black technology would do, how do we get a black paint to read a white level? Noobs, of course, will use silver mica. They figure the silver mica is going to cause the white levels to pick up when the projector hits the screen. They also mix in white paint. They also mix in some silver paint because they figure this combination is going to cause the white levels to read. It doesn't. It doesn't even work at all, period. As you can see, it fails. Doesn't even read. Let's go over to, oh, this is a really good one. Let's go with TCL black and white. If I got that one correct. Nope. TCL 4K demonstration black and white. Now, this is a very interesting demonstration. In this demonstration, you must also show contrast and white levels at the exact same time, which means your screen has to do something called transition. This is what gray screens go through. You cannot transition from black, now not to white anymore next to one of these things anymore. You can't do that. But you can't transition. Let's get this going. Now, you're going to see something called oversaturation of contrast levels. This is where the fake black paint here is actually reading a saturated contrast level so high that, let me take my lights out. I don't want to distort too much. It's basically reading a contrast level so high that basically when the contrast levels do appear, you will see that images that also are producing higher white levels and color levels are coming out dirty. This is one of the telltale signs that we read when we see your screen. You see the silver here? See how the silver is nice and bright here? See when it hits the fake screen, see how dark it comes up? That's one of the things we see on your screen. That's one of your telltale signs that come up. Let's get a little closer so you can see that. See that? That's what we see on your screen. We see this really dirty color that comes up because you can't pick up white levels. And because you can't read white levels, what happens is anything comes up silver or blue or whatever clashes with the black. You can pick up the black levels, you just can't pick up those colors that require very high white levels to read off a black surface. See that? There you go. That we do that for the people who make products. For the customers, this is an education video for you, to warn you. For the person who makes these products, this is also a warning. We'll see you in court. You're not getting a decrease and desist letter from our attorneys. It's not happening. Straight lawsuit right from the door. They're going to hit you hard. Because again, you shouldn't be selling this stuff. If you don't know what you're doing, especially when it comes to black technology, you should not be selling this product at all. Again, another perfect example of oversaturation of contrast levels. Black level balance are extremely poor. Do you see that right there? Extremely poor. Look how dirty the silverware of the jewelry comes up. Look at the red levels. Red levels bright here. Red levels here, dirty. So when I was watching that demonstration, when the fellow was doing the demonstrations under Hey Bear, your white level start, all that was coming up dirty. Every single bit of it was coming dirty. That's how I can tell that your stuff is nothing more than black paint with those silver and white and whatever stuff you mix in. That's all it is. Now mind, for the home people who say our stuff is nothing more than just Home Depot black paint, mind, this is a black paint with the, what do you call, that Black Dynasty in it that has enhancement. We put silver, we put stuff in it to enhance it. So it's not everyday black paint and it still fails. So just so you know that when we sue you in court, these lawsuits are hefty. And I mean very hefty lawsuits. Because again, you're making some very serious accusations about my business. Especially if you're using my company's name to say that you're us. And this is what our products look like. So this is why the jail time is so high. This is why when we go to court, we want to go to federal. We want to treat it as a cyber crime against our business. And we treat it as we want the judge to give us 10 to 20 for your sentence. If you get caught in one of these things. Let's keep on going with this demonstration. But also, too, this is great for the consumer. Because the consumer needs to know that there's a difference between our product and their product. Now, you see all this? Everything up here came up dark. Look at this. Came up dark again. Transition. It can't transition. It can't pick up a high enough white level. You know how high the white levels on a black technology have to be? They have to be really, really up there. Up there, up there. Now, on a standalone, this thing looks like it works. Next to ours, it doesn't. Now, even worse, if you're caught with a demonstration where you're claiming that you have our product and you never purchase it, this is where lawsuits jump over the $1 million mark. We're talking about $5 to $10 million lawsuits. And this is where we'll hit you with multiple criminal charges in court, which can accumulate up to 40, 50, 60 years easily. They'll hit you with multiple accounts because it clearly shows that you tried to identity theft. You took my company's name, you claimed to be me, you went on and said this is our products, we purchased these products from him, and you never purchased anything from me. We have no receipts, we have nothing. They're going to request containers, receipts, the whole 9 yards. You don't have none of that present in court? Yeah, I'm going to put it this way, kiss your butt goodbye. Now watch this, look at this right here. Okay, it's like somebody basically making a hamburger, right? And they make it like overcooked, bloody, it looks disgusting. And they take a McDonald's wrapper and they put it on it. And they sit in the car and go, hey, I just came from McDonald's. They're sitting right in the back of the building. You see McDonald's over there. And then you open it up and there's a finger in it or something nasty. I don't know where they get a finger from, but people do weird stuff. Roaches in it. Maybe some parts of a rat, a condom. I seen somebody do that one time. They got sued very badly. Because now, that's crazy. You're afraid to eat a sandwich. You might think there's a condom in there. You know how much damage that can cause to a company? Now, you may think it's a prank and it's funny, but no, that can cause a company a lot of damage. And then you're on social media broadcasting this. This is why people end up in court and they sit there all sad. I didn't know, it was just a prank. Yeah, that's a very serious accusation you just made. So when you take something that looks like my container or saying you have my products, or you basically purchased something from us and you know you never did this, and you do a demonstration like this against my product, you are clearly going to get sued. And the lawsuit's not the worst of your problem. It's the criminal charges that when we take you to court, what we're going to request and where we're going to be at in court. Most likely, because it's online, they're all federal, we have to go to federal for this. And this means if you get hit in federal, this is bad. This means your time accumulates by football numbers. Now, as for the consumer, it just shows you today, this is why you buy only from us. Because our stuff is tested. We can easily take their products and show you that it does this. That is absolutely awful. Look at that. We are going to be prosecuting a lot of people on these accusations that were made about our products. And again, to warn the customer at the end of the day, don't you even think about it. I see you going in that direction. To prosecute the individuals, but also to warn the customers at the end of the day that you have to be careful of fake black screen paints. I'm going to let this one play right here. That's why you buy only from us. You don't buy from other people who do not know what they're doing. It's going to end up destroying your projector investment. You paint this stuff down to your screen, you're going to have to redo this again, especially with motorized projection screens. I've tested motorized projection screens. You can paint them a few times before they jam up. Okay. I just warned you. It's my last time telling you. Come here. Go in your bunker. Go in your bunker because you're acting up. Go in your bunker. Go in your bunker. Now you're messing with my video. Go in the bunker. Now. Because you're acting up. That's the second time I've seen him cha-cha-cha near that screen. Do not go near the screen. I just told you that. Well, I don't care if you get an attitude. Go back to your room. Cats are like little kids. They'll sit there and sneak over and look at you. So if they're watching you, sneak over and look at you. And then when your head turns, bam, they right there where you told them not to be at. That's what they do. You can get an attitude. Now, we're going to be doing these demonstrations all day. All day these demonstrations are going to be done. We're going to flood YouTube with these demonstrations, warning you about these fake black products. I'm going to have these on forum sites. It's going to have Facebook. It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be pumped on our website, which pretty much pumps everywhere. This is why you buy from us, so you don't get ripped off. You know, it's wasting your time and money painting some cheap black paint to your screen, to your investment at the end of the day, on your wall, and get ripped off. This is why you don't buy generics, you don't buy fakes. You come to the real ones. We are the real ones of today. We're the ones who invented the technology. We're the ones who know what we're talking about. When they get on camera, they can't even explain to you what they're showing you at the end of the day. They know nothing about the technology whatsoever. Fake products, that's what they're selling you. Know anywhere you're going to engineer black technology. We do it because we've got years and years of training, but then again, our stuff is divine. Just like when we show you when it comes to gray screens, how much you're losing on a gray screen versus our black technology. This is how much you're losing when you touch a black paint. Fake black screens. That's kind of interesting, right? Usually you see demonstrations where you see people talking about how the black screen, basically, at the end of the day, is not a good product to have on your screen. You'll never see anybody come out and show you demonstrations on the reason why fake black screens don't compare to us. Now that's going to challenge, that's just going to cause a ripple effect in the system. Any company right now at the end of the day that has a black screen is now going to have to do one of these things. Because now people are going to be curious, like, how low are your white levels? Let's get some pretty flowers in here too. So what do you call smarter surface? Yeah, smarter surface has got to do with these tests. Because you're curious now, like, how dark do their screens come up? This is why when I watch some of these screens and I go in to ask questions, one of the questions I ask is, what's the highest amount of lumens does it take for your screen to kick? Now, some screens take 8,000 lumens. I found out about the Black Diamond. The Black Diamond screen requires an 8,000 lumen projector. But that's wrong on that. I don't even know why it would require an 8,000 lumen projector. I've tested Black Diamond technology before. Literally, I've got stuff to work on a 50 lumen projector in the garage. Maybe that's just a requirement, but I've seen their screens do things on projectors that they haven't done yet actually work. But, you know, to each his own. But still, 8,000. Now, he has it for companies. His technology is for companies only, because again, an 8,000 projector, consider the caliber of that machine, that's a big machine. That's not something you're going to have where you can walk in front of. You're not walking in front of 8,000 lumens. That's a lot of power to be smacked with. Usually 8,000 means that the ceilings are going to be really high in that environment. I mean, the projector's going to sit, screen's going to sit way up past the pedestrian's height. And the projector is going to be way up a little higher. It's going to be lens shift in, so that way it makes no contact with the customer. But the average human is not going to have, a person or customer is not going to have, I said human like I'm come from another planet. The average person at the end of the day is not going to have ceilings that high, you know. Unless you have a customization and you have a home that you can do that, then yeah. But other than that, no. Our technology can read on projectors that are pushed under the, way below the maximum limit of basically running on your projector settings. We did a demonstration, which I'll be doing today. We brought the projector down. Right now we have it at 20. Minus 20. Minus 20 on any of the screen, you would go dark. Oh, let me show you that real quick. Let's pause that for a minute. I'm going to go into my settings. I'm going to show you what's in my settings for now. Oh, we're actually not minus, we actually changed it. We're at 1. One's minus 1 and 1 is plus 1. And that's the contrast. Oh, can we stay on there for a little bit longer? Jeez, that's a rush. That's the contrast and color. And whisper mode on Chrissy's is eco mode. And somebody asked me about that. So what is the eco mode on Chrissy? It's whisper. So right now this projector does 4,000, but because in whisper mode we're 25. Let's get, because I don't want to go past time here. This video has to be at a short time because I need to put this on other sites. Let's go over to LG snowboarding demonstration 4K. Let's get our camera straighten up here a bit. Go. Now, when you're showing off your screen, as I said before, first when I started the video, what did I do? I showed off comparison. I showed off the standalone. That's what they do, the standalone. And in the standalone, they say, hey, we have the same product he has. It's the same screen paint. Why spend $400 for a product? You remember saying this, right? You're going to hear it again when we get that courtroom. Got your videos, remember that. You're going to hear that again. Why spend $400 for a product that's a ripoff and a scam when we can show you how to make it for cheaper? When we have a product that's better than his. Now, you can't say that. You don't have my product there. How do you know it's better than yours? How do you know you're better if my product's not there? Some of you have gone as far as print out our labels and stick them to containers. We know who. Next week, we'll take care of you. And say that our products are nothing more than just, they don't work. Done false demonstrations against us, right? This is the reason why you got to pay for money lost. We lost money in this nonsense. Because you guys went out and spread these vicious rumors about us, and it's hurt our company. So now we go to court. This is why you're being sued for so much money, because we can show the judges that by your actions and rumors that you started about our company, which weren't true, you caused some damage to the business. Now, not a damage where you're going to put us out of business, no. But enough for us to take you to court and sue you for millions of dollars. Because now, because of your actions, you are now going to fund my new company. Because lawsuits that are going out, you're going to pay for it. You're definitely going to pay for it, trust me. Now, look at this. Watch this. Transition. There you go. Maybe there's a reason for all things, right? Maybe God made this so we can out people, get these individuals that are ripping up people, because they probably been doing this for years, ripping people off, get you out in the open, get you exposed, you know, and then on top of that, it gives us more money back to our company, because now, like I said, we have lawsuits going out against these individuals. And these are hefty lawsuits. Some of these lawsuits, like I said, can range from the minimum at small claims court at $12,000 a pop. And mind you, criminal charges do follow behind these. So you know that. Some people are saying, well, I got 12 grand, I'm good. But there's a criminal charge that follow behind this. That's the other issue. Some of these are ranged in civil court, where they reach ranges of $150,000, $300,000, $500,000. Some of these will hit federal court, where they hit up to millions of dollars. Depends on what you hit on. And also to calculate your jail time. Some people may get a year, some people get 5 years, some get 10, and the worst of the worst will end at 10 to 20 to 30 year mark. So it depends on what you get hit on. Now, because there's so many individuals involved, this is going to be a big case for the courts. There's not just one individual, there's a group of people that are involved in this. We call this conspiracy, which means a bunch of you all got together and decided to come against Mr. Bird to try to make his products faulty. We did multiple demonstrations and different channels, spread false rumors. This is why the bounty is going to be so high on this. This is big. It's a big lawsuit, very big lawsuit. So the judge is going to see a lot of interesting people from different states come in to be prosecuted. As I stated before on camera many times, you don't get away with anything on the earth. Or when you leave it either. All right, what time we got in here? We're good right here. Let's go over and let's grab white screensaver. Let's deal with something with nothing on it. Just basic white. All right, got a 24-hour one over here. Well, you gonna make a difference. Grab it from here. There you go. Now, your silver mica, as you think, and your paint's gonna work. It don't work. Your white paint you put in there, not gonna work. I don't know what the word is for. I'm baffled by that one, to tell you the truth. Not gonna work. PPJ, not gonna work. And the interesting thing I've seen that when we gave a certain person permission to make these products, he put in so much of this PPJ and silver mica and water and white paint that he made the paint turn gray because the rollers were coming up gray in the video. So that's another problem. You have to try to make it without turning it gray. So you have to put enough in it, you figured, that's how it works, to get it to bring up the white levels, and most of you stick with high power projectors to do this. You know, screens that don't read correctly with white levels are plagued by ultra short throw and short throw projectors. The Series C does not function on projectors. It states it in this, I don't know what it's called, I can't call it specification, I don't know what that is. But anyway, states that it does not work with long, ultra short throw and short throw projectors. That's one of the first red flags that a screen's not reading a high enough white level, especially when they're darker, when they don't work on those particular darker screens. One of the things I noticed when I test a lot of certified screens, especially involving ultra short throws, is that the ultra short throw version would be much lighter, where the long throw version would be darker. Because sometimes some of these screens have an issue, especially with ultra short throw, to be to pick up. Now, as for the consumer, as I said before, this is why you buy from us. Because again, go out and spend your money, your time, and your dime to paint up a screen that literally is going to look like that. Now, we're going to be doing these demonstrations in different sections. We're going to be doing these demonstrations while the weather's going to be outside. But I want to be down in the office area, showing different settings, different projectors, where this black fake screen's not going to work. They don't work. They can't read. They don't have the capability of reading because their contrast levels are too high. There's no balance there. And any of you people make these black paints at the end of the day, if I catch one of these things online, anywhere, and I go to your website, I go to your YouTube channel, and I don't see proper testing in there showing this product is legit, I'm going to see you in court. I'm going to challenge your company in a court of law against my products. Because you're selling fake screen paints, you're selling fake products. You're almost as worse as those gray screens trying to convince people they see a black level and that they're operating fully lit environments. And if you're one of those people who have mentioned my company's name, mentioned my name, said my product was this, that, and the other, then we'll see you in federal court. And I can guarantee you two things. One, you'll be penniless when you leave. And two, your lifespan is going to shorten because we're going to throw you in jail. Look at that. It's awful, isn't it? Absolutely awful. That is absolutely awful. Let's pause that right there. Just take that in. Let's get up close on top of that. I want you to really enjoy and take that in. That is downright disgusting. That's why I tell you when I watch those demonstrations, when you hear Mr. Bird say out of his mouth, your screen's too dark, your screen's too dark. When I'm looking at these gray screens out here and I say your colors are washed out, your colors are washed out. That shows you at the end of the day how blind they are. They really believe they saw a white level. You weren't even anywhere close to it. Nowhere close to a white level. Now, does it make a difference what silver you put into it? Doesn't make a difference what mic. It doesn't change it. You still can't read it. But there's a science behind black technology. It takes years and years and years of research to understand how white light functions correctly out of a black surface. You're not just picking up one level of white. You have to pick up multiple levels of white levels. This is very important that you know this. But if you think because you pick up one single white level, that, and it's not even a white, yours is coming up gray, like a grayish, dark, dirty gray, you're going to have a problem there. You can't make up multiple shades. This is what happens with gray screens. Gray screens come on and say, hey, we read color. Technically, you don't, because there's something called dark level colors. You can't read that because you need heavy contrast to do it. So that's why when y'all show sceneries of green, it's faded, it's washed out. Y'all think that's an actual beautiful picture. On our end, we're like, no, that's trash. Because it's supposed to be darker shades, dark shades, light shades, medium shades. You don't have those in there. You just have this big blinding one color display. You don't know what you're doing. Honestly, you really don't. And again, I can't express this enough with the gray screen, even though this is way off topic a little bit here. How in the world are you selling a product that doesn't read 100% black? You do know that's part of it, right? You know it's part of the projection setup. That's what's coming out of your feed. It's coming out of your cell phone. It's coming out of your tablet. It's coming out of your cable box. Darth Vader walks on the scene, right? He's wearing black. We all know Darth Vader's armor is black, right? So when he walks out of the scene, every component sees black. But the minute when it's your screen, it's gray. That means your screen's not working. That's what that stands for. You go buy an OLED TV, you open it up, you see Darth Vader come out, it's gray. What are you going to do? You're going to keep it or take it back? I'm going to take it back. It's supposed to be black. That's the first thing to argue with the sales clerk. His armor is not freaking gray, it's black. I want my money back. Give me another TV. Or basically give my money back. Because you know you're not going to settle for that crap. So why are you settling it with a gray screen? And if you think your projector's going to fix it, oh, no. You couldn't be farther from the truth. You're way out there, GPS zone. No way in the world. No, it's not going to happen. That's when any of your gray screens going to challenge you in court on that. Take you to court and challenge you on those black levels. As for you fake black screen paint makers out there, that's what your product is. This is why when I make this statement, when I say that you can't sell your product online, that we have you on lockdown, because if you launch that product and we do this to you, we'll take you to court and hit you with consumer fraud. And we find out you sold an ounce of this stuff anywhere, I don't care, just an ounce of it, we can get you on consumer fraud. And you'll be challenging my credibility versus yours. Who do you think will win that when it comes to experience? It'll be me. I was designing screen paint long before half of you people even existed on YouTube. I can go back to my archives and show you demonstrations that date back 10 years ago. Visible technology, 12 years ago. So, you would never win it, trust me. And then one thing, if I asked you simple questions, you couldn't answer them because you know nothing about black technology. One of the things you should look for, customer, we're going to post something at the bottom of this video. It's called Black versus Black Tests. It's our entire page, actually, and growing on all the tests we have done on different types of products. One of the hardest tests that a black screen would have to go through, because now we raised the bar on this. We always raise the bar when we do these black versus black tests. One of the hardest demonstrations ever you will have to do is to draw into your screen with everyday black paint in a fully lit environment. I know it's brutal, isn't it? I've seen people leave the room like, oh, shoot. Yeah, we've done that multiple times. You have to draw into the screen. Which means when the screen pulls up, it shows that whatever you draw into the screen with black paint comes up black and your screen comes up lighter. This is why I freak out when I do demonstrations where we have to paint this down to a black paint on a surface. I'm scared to death if it touches my screen, it's going to damage my screen. That's one of the things I hate to do, is lay up a black screen paint, everyday black paint, let's say black house paint, next to my screen. And if that thing touches my screen, this is what it does to my screen. It'll damage my screen. Now, question, one of the biggest questions I have. What is the difference between the product that you're trying to push online and everyday black paint? When we take it to court, we're going to require 100 test display. Most of these out of that 100 display will be live. You have to do them live. Like I'm doing right now, I'm doing it live. If you don't have these tests, means that I'm going to tell the judge at the end of the day that this paint should never be sold on the market without these tests. It's crucial that these tests are done. And we're going to show why these tests need to be done. I'm going to ask you very important key questions in the courtroom about about your product's capabilities. What type of tests were done? Did you complete these tests? Where are these tests? You see how bad that's going to get in court? It's not like a YouTube thing. So at the end of the day, you think because you're on YouTube, you'll push your product, you're good. No. Companies will challenge you all the time. All the time. If you're selling the product, easy address access. We got your address in no time at all. If you're on there pushing a product and you don't have any website or nothing whatsoever, no means to sell this item whatsoever, that means you're trolling. That's all you're doing. And that means that you're spreading false information. That means it has to be doing IP track or tracking, tracing, whatever you want to call it. So that we can get you in court and figure out, where we go from there. Especially if you're mentioning people's names you shouldn't mention. Other than that, as for the consumer, watch out for fake black screen paints. We're going to do another demonstration. We're going to keep these short and sweet. We're right now under the mark. We're perfect. Come back and do another demonstration on the fake black screen. Be careful. Do not get ripped off by these fake copycats that want to be us at the end of the day. And message to the copycats, we'll see you in court. Most of you are going to federal. You know that, right? Right? 2026 is looking pretty bad for some people right now. Really bad. I mean, really, 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 really bad. It's crazy, but when 2027 hits and the ball drops, a lot of people are going to be spending that in log up because people did some really stupid stuff around my company. You will not be home for Christmas. I guarantee you. This stuff is going to get settled quick. Allentown up here, because it's a smaller area, we don't have a lot of cases up here. One of the things I noticed that getting paperwork on certain documents and stuff like that, it's a fast process. I got my license done like that same day. It wasn't even the whole day. It was roughly like something like less than 30 minutes. I got it done. That fast. I was shocked. I was like, wow, that's freaking crazy. My DBA, my EIN number, all that stuff done. I was like, wow. If I was over in any other cities that were larger, it just took too long for me to get my stuff. It took almost forever, like months. But over here, the processing time for everything is fast. So I can imagine getting ready for court cases, and they have got to be extremely fast. So I'm judging maybe about 30 days. We'll be all in court. Someone's be in court, get this thing taken care of, and then additionally, we got to go back out again because now we have to file the criminal charges for that. So we'll be back in for that. So yeah, pretty fast. So yeah, they give you a timeline of I think something like roughly like 12 to like 30 days. So yeah, we'll have all this wrapped up for the summer. Well, the main ones we'll have wrapped up. The other ones, the scatters at the end of the day, we already got that information. We're good. Those are going to take time. Got to bring each one in court. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do 4 at a time. That'll be much easier. Just file for 4 at a time and bring them in, knock that out, and go back and get another 4 and knock that out. We'll just do it that way. And then after that, we'll just get some attorneys to come in and represent the rest of them and just go in and just take them out. They'll take them to court. We'll take them to court. We'll just do it in different random revolving doors because there's a lot of them. And we'll be in and out of court for quite a bit here and there. Oh, man. All right, let me see. We're done for time here. I'm going to go back to the white screen. That's what I'm going to display on this. Nothing comes up on that screen. That fake black paint is awful. I've seen this so many times in his products. He called himself making his own black paint. Awful. Absolutely awful. So, we can't have people out there claiming to be us because we got to take it to court. It has to be done. I mean, we sit there and say, oh, it is right. This is the law. This is why we have rules and regulations. This is why we have them. Someone slams into the back of your car, wrecks and damages your vehicle, right? You want your justice, right? You want them to pay for the damages on your vehicle. And then, God forbid, you don't get hurt. Hopefully you don't. But if you do, you want them to pay for your medical bills, right? All right, then no one gets out of a car and go, hey, it's fine. I mean, I'm going to enjoy having a wrecked car, even though I paid money for it. I'm going to enjoy this new back injury. I can't wait to have pain all day long. No one says that. So if you want that justice at the end of the day, guess what? We deserve justice too. I didn't appreciate that people went out and did these demonstrations and spread all these false rumors about us, saying our products were that mess at the end of the day, when we work hard every single day to bring you the best products we can. So, guess what? You're going to pay me. And you're going to pay me with time, too. Your lifespan. Which means that if we depended on what we get you on, at the end of the day, and where we take you at, means that whether we take 1 year off you, 5 years off you, 10 years off you, and some of you even worse, 20, 30-year prison sentence waiting for you. It's called common sense. You know, you watch this in courtroom all the time. You watch people go to court all the time, people seeing it, and you watch people do some crazy stuff, and you think to yourself, man, that's the dumbest thing someone could ever do. Why would you mess your life up like that? Well, some of you guys just did it. Okay, that being said, we'll come back in. I want to do some bright colors like the TCL, more of those demonstrations. And I got to get ready to post these videos to the site. I'm going to do a pre-record because the pre-records we can get in there faster. But I want to do the live stream because the live stream has more impact to it. Because it just shows, you know, we can't manipulate live streams. That's like virtually impossible. And if you feel, excuse me, at the end of the day, I just learned something. If you feel at the end of the day that any of my demonstrations are completely fake, you know what you do? You know what I'm going to say? Sign my contract, meet me in court. That's what you got to do. Or if we find your stuff online doing stuff, we'll find you and we'll take you to court. That way too. All right? So, as I said before, customers, do not buy fake products at the end of the day because, again, that is where you'll get ripped off. That's like the person going out and spending money for a Versace pocketbook, and they spent $3 grand for this pocketbook to find out it's not real Versace. They don't have the real thing. That's kind of sucks, doesn't it? Yeah. Especially if they pay too much, too less for it, then you know it's fake at the end of the day. There you go. Versace is not spelled with a G. You get the real thing, you come to us. So we're going to be doing a section on the page, talk about counterfeit black projection screens, fake black projection screens, stuff like that. And this is also going to set awareness to some of you companies out there who had black screens and your stuff wasn't tested properly. I did test Smarter Surfaces. Their black and white levels were way too low. Way too low. For a product you're selling, way too low. But they're over in Ireland, so they're in a different area, a different part of the world. You know, jurisdiction is much different, but still, your stuff don't read correctly because I did the test myself. All right, that being said, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for your time. We'll be back. I got to do a couple of these videos. Got to do a pre-record in a few minutes to actually broadcast everywhere. Thank you. Got to go, and God bless.